So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'm literally going to walk you through my own life. Well, my second life. It's the story of my ridiculously overpowered and honestly completely unwanted reincarnation. I'm Michael. And yeah, I was reborn as the genius son of the richest family in the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, no way, that sounds absolutely amazing. But trust me, it really wasn't. Let me show you exactly why becoming a legendary fantasy protagonist is, without a doubt, the most exhausting, annoying thing that could possibly happen to a guy who just wanted to be left alone. When the literal creator of the universe reached out to me, my actual immediate response was just, take my soul, man. Look, I was 35 years old. I died of a massive heart attack in a totally dark room lit only by the glow of my PC monitor. And honestly, it was the perfect death. I had achieved peak satisfaction. I'm talking playing games, watching anime, eating fast food delivery, zero exercise, zero stress. So when my vision went black, I was completely ready for the void. But no. Instead, I get this ethereal, super apologetic voice echoing in the dark. It's an almighty God telling me, oops, my bad, you died too soon. Here, let me give you a second chance. And I just sighed. I told him to just take my soul. Because, if I didn't have consciousness, I wouldn't even know I was missing the next anime season anyway. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. A very apathetic death. To really get why I was so frustrated, you gotta understand the absolute peak of human existence that I was violently ripped away from. Just think about the ideal life. Pure, unadulterated, modern slacker comfort. If I got hungry, boom, food magically appeared at my door. If I was bored, I could just boot up the PC or stream some movies. Now compare that beautiful setup to the standard isekai nightmare that God thought I'd be so thrilled about. Fighting demon lords, survival, like actually having to exert physical effort? No thanks. I mean, sure, weebs might absolutely love watching heroes fight on TV, but living it, sweating and bleeding? Absolutely not. I did not want to start over. In fact, while God was talking to me, I was literally fighting the urge to just pull out my phone and doom scroll. But God, getting clearly annoyed by my total lack of gratitude, just cast a spell and dunked my soul into a warm, viscous fluid anyway. Which brings us to Section 2, the unwanted rebirth. God promised me I'd be the youngest son of the Vanderbilt family, literally the richest in the entire world. Sounds like a life of luxury, right? Yeah, wrong. So I opened my eyes, fully expecting some ultra-high-end VIP hospital room, and bam, the medieval reality sets in. It was a home birth, no Wi-Fi, no ultrasound machines, no fetal monitors, and the lighting, literally just candles and oil lamps slapped on the walls. Oh, and no air conditioning. It slowly dawned on me as I stared at my new parents in their ridiculous royal cosplay attire, God had dumped me into a world completely stuck in the Middle Ages. I mean, I don't care if the Vanderbilts are the richest family on the planet. Even the wealthiest kings in a medieval setting live like absolute peasants compared to an average modern guy with an internet connection. And then, the most horrifying realization of all hit me. I smelled it. Feces. It clicked. If this world is medieval, that means there is zero indoor plumbing. That means I have to live in a world where people just kind of accept the stench. For someone used to a clean, modern lifestyle, this was an absolute unmitigated disaster. I finally broke down and started screaming and crying. And not because I was a newborn baby, but out of sheer, utter frustration at the absolute mess God had forced me into. But there was one, and I mean exactly one, redeeming factor here. Section 3. Enter ChatJK1. So, ChatJK1. This thing is a literal system hack implanted right into my brain. See, as a baby stuck in a crib, I was bored out of my mind. But then I realized I could actually understand the maids of my new mother. ChatJK1 had passively analyzed their speech and was automatically translating it directly into my brain. I didn't even have to ask. It was the ultimate cheat code. Because really, why bother learning things the hard way when your own personal AI assistant can just do all the heavy lifting for you? Moving on to Section 4, analyzing mana particles. Honestly, if you're stuck in a crib all day, you might as well gamify your existence just to cure the boredom. I watched my new mother, Lilia, meditating. I noticed these weird, mossy green particles drawing into her skin. So I had ChatGK1 analyze the elemental structure. Instantly, boom, the entire magic gathering theory downloaded right into my brain. I completely bypassed years of tedious study, letting instinct just take over. I intuitively created this hurricane-like vortex in my abdomen to literally vacuum up the room's particles. Deep inside, I could feel these minuscule elemental stones begin to form, just automatically sorting themselves out. It was like a video game tutorial downloaded straight to my head. I was just casually absorbing a whole spectrum of elements: green for earth, blue for water, red for fire, and silver for air. All four of the basic fantasy elements were just hanging out in my nursery. So I effortlessly sucked them all up. I mean, sure, it was physically exhausting. I was a baby gasping for breath, after all. But ChatJK1 just flipped me over to automatic mana gathering while asleep mode. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer absurdity of my situation. 4. By casually absorbing all four elements as an infant, just to keep myself from dying of boredom, I accidentally turned myself into a legendary, once-in-a-thousand-years genius. Seriously, having 2 elements makes you a genius in this world. 3 makes you transcendent, but 4, that is literally the stuff of myths. My progression was just absurd. While I slept, I was gathering mana automatically. By my first birthday, I was secretly casting 1-star elemental spells. You know, water balls, embers, little gusts of wind, mostly just testing the waters. By the time I hit age 5, I had the mana capacity of a 25-year-old adult. But did I use this phenomenal cosmic power to train to fight demon lords? Absolutely not. I used it to secretly invent running water. I had ChatGK1 download the blueprints per modern faucets and flush toilets. Then I used 2-star magic, like Metal Bend and Boulder Crush, to hollow out a cave, forge copper pipes, and install this massive water tank on the roof. I brought flush toilets, hot showers, and soap to the Vanderbilt mansion, purely so I didn't have to suffer that medieval stench for one more day. Section 5. A completed destiny. Now, let's step back for a second and break the fourth wall entirely. Because my reality isn't just about hacking magic to build plumbing. It's about the meta-narrative of my very existence. Look at this structural reality, based on data straight from the Good Novel platform. The original Chinese web novel of my life, it's completed, done. The author finished it. Meanwhile, the official English translations are delayed, fan translations are super fragmented, and the comic adaptations are still just dragging on. People out there in the English-speaking world are waiting in suspense, wondering what crazy thing I'll invent next or who I'll fight. But the deeply cynical truth here is that my core narrative is already completely wrapped up. As one reader so perfectly put it, I felt way more satisfied once I read the end rather than chasing fragmented releases. And honestly, I could not agree more. Why exhaust yourself waiting and wondering? The true ending is already out there for anyone willing to go look for it. It completely saves you the exhausting effort of suspense. Just like how I used an AI to skip learning magic, you can just skip the wait and read the finished text. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to take away from this explainer today. Is there really any point to fighting fate or putting in massive amounts of effort when the author has literally already finished the final chapter? My life is a completed web novel. The ending is sealed. So maybe, just maybe, my original instinct to just chill out, automate my life, build a nice indoor toilet, and avoid hard work at all costs was exactly the right way to play the game all along. Think about that the next time you're stressing over your own storyline. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.